Hey, Dan here, and in this video we're going to talk about 3 reasons that freelancers fail. Now these are based on my own personal experience, both succeeding and failing from time to time, as well as what I've seen in the students in my freelancing courses and coaching clients. Now the reason I'm so confident in these reasons and why I think you'll find that if you are struggling, you're doing at least one, if not all 3 of these, is that freelancing at its core is quite a simple business. Right? You have a service that delivers value to someone, you provide that service, you then get paid, right? Easy enough. And specifically here, I'm addressing sort of your first $50,000 a year kind of range. There's reasons that freelancers get stuck at that and don't make it to a larger, $100,000 or more figure. And that's a whole different video about, how you set up billing and pricing and things like that. But I'm talking about basically getting to a nice livable income as a freelancer here. So the first reason is focus. This doesn't apply to everyone, but certain personality types especially tend to constantly want to try new things and rethink things. And what often happens when we're getting started as freelancers is something bad happens and it sets us back, right? A client rejects us or they don't like the work or whatever it is, we're having a bad day. And rather than just persist and keep going, we start to rethink our whole business. Should I be doing this? Or maybe, I am copywriting, but maybe I should be doing graphic design, or maybe I should be working with different types of clients or start a different kind of business. And it is amazing how much time people waste rethinking what they should be doing and kind of dabbling in other areas of business rather than just staying focused on their main core business, right? The service they offer. So focus is huge. My advice with this is commit to what you're doing, right? If you're, say, being a freelance copywriter, commit to that for 1 year. And whenever a thought comes into your head about, hey, I could do this business, or I could try this, or I could do this, add this in, write it down and then say, all right, maybe next year. This year, I am just offering one clear service. The second reason people fail is hours. They don't put enough hours in. It takes a lot of work to build a successful business, right? People will come to me and they say, okay, I want your life. I want to be a freelancer who can travel the world and, earn money and do whatever I want and have this free time. And they think it's going to take them 2 hours a day or 3 hours a day. It takes a lot of work. When I was starting out, I'd put often 10, 12-hour days in, right? During the day, you're getting clients, you're doing projects for clients. And then at night, I'd go to a cafe and read books. In my case, I was copywriting. So I would read books on how to be a copywriter, right? Not how to start, but how to be a good copywriter, the technique, the skills, the strategies behind good copywriting, so that I was improving so that I could charge more and blah, 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 blah. A lot of people fail to put in the right amount of hours. And I don't just mean hours where you're sort of working, checking Facebook. I mean focused hours of this is what I'm doing today. I'm not checking social media. I'd often go out and work without my phone, just so that I was that focused, right? I was just doing the work I was doing. So the amount of hours, if you're not putting in at least 30 hours a week, then you can't expect to be getting to a full-time income when you're starting out. Now there's some exceptions here if you already have a really strong skill set in something, but if you're trying to learn a skill, learn business, build a client base, and deliver on projects, you got to put in a full work week if you want to hit those goals. Last is comfort zone. A lot of us, myself included, definitely myself, we struggle to have uncomfortable conversations. This could be things like a breakup conversation, firing someone, asking for a discount at a flea market. It can be any number of things, but if you're not comfortable having uncomfortable conversations, it can really hamper your ability to, negotiate or just generally sell a client. Dealing with difficult situations. Let's say you screw up on a project. The right thing to do would be to talk to the client and say, hey, I'm behind on this. Can we have an extension? But you might just kind of close in and ignore the client for a few days until you have the project done, which is not the right thing to do. And so this discomfort with uncomfortable conversations causes all kinds of issues. There's no quick way to build this, but there are a lot of ways to gradually build this. One that I would recommend is take a day, maybe take a weekend, and just say no to every request. I think I'm borrowing this from the 4-Hour Workweek. I've read it somewhere, but it's a great one. It's just practice saying no. So whatever comes up, say no. Now you can be polite about it. You can say, you know, I'd rather not do that. Why don't we do this instead? But you cannot explain why you're saying no, and you must say no to every request for at least a full day. Practice that and see how uncomfortable it is for you to just say no. And if you find that it's really uncomfortable for you to just say no, then probably your discomfort with being uncomfortable is affecting your business as well and really holding you back. So those are my 3 reasons that you may be failing or struggling as a freelancer, or at least lots of people do, including myself when I went through rough spots. If I look back and say, why wasn't I doing so good? It's usually 2 or 3 of these reasons going on. So it's a lack of focus, it's a lack of consistent working hours, and it is not being okay with being uncomfortable, having difficult situations, or just generally doing something outside your comfort zone. Cool. If you found this video helpful, useful, whatever, you just think I'm so goddamn handsome and or ridiculously ugly, it amuses you, subscribe to my channel. See you in future videos, and I'll do my best to help you be more successful as a freelancer, an entrepreneur, or just an all-around badass. Cool.